5 plane shapes. So when we say plane shapes, we mean flat shapes, right? These are the ones that are two-dimensional. So when you're thinking about two-dimensional shapes, you're thinking about shapes like, what's this shape called? What's a three-sided flat shape called? You have different ones. What do you call a three-sided figure? Starts with a T. What's the name of the shape with 3 sides and 3 angles? Triangle, right? So this is a triangle. So can you tell me which shapes here are triangles? Tell me the letters A. So this is a triangle. Which other ones are triangle?
E.
E. Which other ones are triangle? Any others?
And D.
And D. Alright. Why are B and C not triangles?
Because they're different shape.
Very much so. They are differently shaped. How many sides do you see in B?
4.
4 sides, right? And how many sides do you see in C?
4.
4 again. So if they both have 4 sides, there's a very broad category for 4-sided figures called quadrilaterals. Have you ever heard that word before? Quadrilaterals? A very big word. You ever heard that word before? So if you've never heard quadrilateral, spell it out. Quadrilaterals are 4-sided figures, right? Quadrilateral. Okay, now, here's what they want us to do, right? So the reason why I ask you to distinguish between a triangle and a quadrilateral, they said, which of the shapes has only one pair, right? Only one pair of parallel lines. So, only one pair of parallel lines. What do you know parallel lines are? Have you ever heard of parallel lines before? Have you ever heard of parallel lines?
No.
No? Okay. So when we say parallel lines, we're talking about lines that never meet each other, right? They run alongside each other. They have the same distance apart between the two of them, and they never touch at all, right? So parallel lines can look something like these blue lines, right? You know how when we're doing a sum or a difference at the end where we put the answer, we normally draw something like this, the equal sign. And you notice that the two lines are equally distant from one another. They don't touch. As parallel lines again, right? So parallel lines are any two lines that run alongside one another and never touch. They are always the same distance apart, but they never ever meet. So they're asking which of these shapes has only one pair of parallel lines. Now, the first thing to help you figure it out, right? It can't be any of the 3-sided figures, because all these sides, if you look at it carefully, right? All the sides in the triangles, right, touch one another at some point. because this line is touching this one, so these two can't be parallel. This line is also touching this one, can't be parallel. And then this line is touching this line, so again, can't be parallel, right? Because parallel lines never intersect with one another, they never touch at any point. So this rules out all the triangles. So which two shapes are we going to investigate to see if it has one pair of parallel sides? Because if we say all the triangles get it ruled out, that means A, D, and E, we can't even bother with them, right? So which two shapes are we going to investigate?
B and C.
Very good. We have to look at B and we have to look at C. Now, let's look at B. Does B look like it has any parallel sides? So remember, parallel lines are lines that never meet. So do you see any pair of sides that run alongside each other, look like they're the same distance apart, but don't ever meet each other? So in B in particular, you'll notice something, right? If you look at this line on the top here, it's running along the same way like this line on the bottom here. And these two lines have the same distance between each other. And these two lines being the same distance between each other, they never at any point in time touch. Alright? So that already kind of showing us, you know, this parallel to this, right? So those two lines are parallel, so I'll put a little arrow on them. But here's the next thing. If we look closer at B, do you think these two sides are also parallel? These two short sides, do you think they're also parallel?
No.
Why you say that? So look at it, right? This short side and this short side. Do you think these two sides are parallel? That's what I'm asking, right? Do you think they are parallel? And if you think,
Yes.
right. So if you think they're parallel, you would notice a couple key things that will kind of verify it for you. The first would be that they are the same distance apart, which they are, right? They're the same distance apart, and they never touch. So again, we have another pair of parallel sides in B. Now, while B has a pair of parallel sides, right? Does it have only one pair of parallel sides? Is there only one pair of parallel sides in the shape B? Yes or no? Do we only have one pair of parallel sides? Think about it, huh?
It's C.
It has to be C because B has two pairs of parallel sides, right? We just identified two pairs of parallel sides. So let's look at C. Let's see if we can find where the pair of parallel sides are. So can you tell me, do you think the pair of parallel sides would be this side here at the top and this side here? Do you think those are the parallel sides? So to help make your inference about it, I want you to look at it. Do these two sides look like they're always the same distance apart? These two sides, do they always look like they're the same distance apart, or do they look like at some point in time, if we only made the shape a little bit longer, they would have touched? What do you think? Equidistant, right? Same distance apart, or not? And I want you to pay attention then to the other pair sides. Do these two sides, although they're not the same length, do these two sides look as though they are the same distance apart and that they never touch? So which pair of sides do you think is a parallel pair? Is it this pair or this pair? Which pair it is? So if you notice, like I was saying earlier, if we were to extend out this side, you would see that at some point these two lines going to eventually touch, right? Might not be in this shape, but it will eventually touch. So this is the reason why C, the pair of parallel sides, is actually the two going upward like this, right? So this is the pair of parallel sides, and this is the shape that has only one pair of parallel sides. So on the answer line, which shape are we going to tell them has only one pair of parallel sides? A, B, C, D, or E? Which one? We should write C, right? We're going to write C as the shape that has only one pair of parallel sides, right?